Imagine waking up every morning knowing deep inside you were meant to be more than what you are today. Not richer, not more popular, but wiser, stronger, calmer. Yet something holds you back. The same thoughts, the same emotions, the same habits repeating day after day. You want to improve yourself every day, but your mind keeps pulling you into old patterns. What if the real battle is not outside, but inside? Buddhism teaches the mind is everything. What you think, you become. In this video, I'll reveal 9 powerful Buddhist daily improvement habits that will help you master your life, find inner peace, and shape unshakable discipline from within. These are not motivational tricks. These are ancient mind-training principles used by monks, warriors, and seekers to transform their lives through simple daily habits. And at the end, I'll share a bonus Buddhist habit that only a few truly understand, but it can change the direction of your life instantly. Where every video is a doorway to calm, clarity, and timeless Buddhist insight you won't find anywhere else. Now, are you ready to break your limits and finally activate the version of you that has been waiting in silence? Let's begin. 1. Master the inner world before the outer world. You are shaped by the thoughts you choose to dwell upon. Why do so many of us struggle for years, yet wake each morning feeling the self unchanged? Imagine a tree. Its crown may be wide, its leaves brilliant, but if the roots drink poisoned water, the tree will never grow strong. So it is with the life lived in a noisy, disturbed mind. Master the inner world before the outer world. This is the quiet revolution that remakes everything. Begin each day with a small act of sovereignty. Close your eyes for 1 minute. Watch one thought arrive and let it pass. Do not follow it. This 2-line practice is a seed. It trains you to notice the craftsman inside your head who fashions your days. When you learn to observe without obeying, choices appear where once there were compulsions. Ask yourself plainly, what thoughts repeatedly shape my day? If my thoughts were a garden, what grows there? Am I controlling my mind, or is it controlling me? These questions are not tests. They are lanterns showing the path through familiar darkness. Name the habit, trace its edges, and the habit loses some of its power. In Buddhist terms, this is simple truth. Suffering arises from unexamined pattern. When you stop fueling the small fires of worry, jealousy, and regret, the whole room slowly cools. In modern life, this matters more than ever. Deadlines, comparisons, endless news feeds, they pry open the mind and scatter its attention. The practice is a daily reclaiming, a quiet refusal to let every passing image and headline become your governor. Practical steps. Set a single, minute-long morning watch. Throughout the day, pause before reacting. Breathe twice, count to 3, then choose. Keep a thought journal for 3 evenings. Write the thought that repeated most and the small action that followed. Gradual discipline compounds. 1 minute becomes 10, 1 breath becomes a refuge. Picture a life where your responses are wise instead of automatic. A friend returns a harsh word and you answer with calm. A failure arrives and you meet it with curiosity rather than shame. This is not magic. It is practice day by day, like tending a garden until it flowers. The answer will make you reflect. What would change if you truly mastered your inner weather? Hold that question as you walk through the other 8 ways to improve yourself. Each will be a lantern, each a step toward an unshakable peace. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world, but against your own mind. Choose today to train it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My discipline builds destiny." 2. Discipline through detachment. Why do people lose consistency after a few days of motivation? Because they mistake emotion for commitment. Motivation rises like morning mist, beautiful but soon gone. True improvement begins when action no longer depends on feeling inspired. Discipline through detachment is the bridge between fleeting desire and lasting change. Do what must be done, even if desire sleeps. These words are quiet steel. In the teachings of the Buddha, detachment is not coldness. It is freedom from being enslaved by moods. When you act only when you feel like it, your life becomes the servant of emotion. But when you act because it is right, not because it is easy, you step into mastery. The river does not flow because it feels like it. It flows because that is its nature. Let this image live in your mind. The river doesn't debate the weather, nor stop because the rocks resist. It simply continues gracefully with quiet strength. In the same way, discipline is your natural flow when you no longer argue with effort. In modern life, we are trained to chase comfort. We want results without the slow burn of repetition. Yet the enlightened ones remind us, peace is not found in comfort. It is born from consistency. Each time you complete a task without the permission of your mood, you strengthen the muscles of freedom. You are saying to yourself, I am not my impulses. I am the one who directs them. Try this mindfulness practice today. Set one small task, perhaps cleaning a corner of your room, finishing a page, or meditating for 5 minutes. Complete it without waiting for the mood to arrive. Let discipline replace emotion. Notice how silence follows accomplishment, a grounded satisfaction that feels purer than excitement. Ask yourself, do I obey my emotions or my purpose? What could I finish today without excuses? What would my life look like if I honored discipline daily? These questions are seeds for a deeper awakening. They reveal how peace comes not from escaping effort, but from embracing it with clarity. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means doing what must be done without clinging to how you wish it felt. When you live this way, discipline becomes devotion, a sacred act of respect toward your potential. The river flows, not because it must prove anything, but because that is its truth. Be that river. Flow regardless of feeling. For one day of detached discipline will teach you more about peace than 1,000 moments of motivation. 3. Silence is a daily power ritual. How can 5 minutes of silence change the way you think, feel, and decide? The world trains us to react fast, loud, and without pause. Yet the Buddha taught that wisdom lives in stillness. In stillness, the truth speaks. But most of us are too noisy to hear it. We stir the waters of our mind with endless thoughts, replayed memories and restless plans, and then wonder why we cannot see clearly. Muddy water becomes clear only when it stops being stirred. Let this image stay with you. Every emotion, every impulse, every worry is like sediment swirling inside. The more we chase solutions, the cloudier it gets. But when we stop, just stop, clarity begins its quiet work. The water clears. The truth beneath appears. Silence, then, is not emptiness. It is the sacred pause where understanding matures. In daily life, silence becomes your hidden ritual of power. Before you react to an insult, sit in silence. Before you rush to make a decision, sit in silence. Even 5 minutes can turn confusion into calm awareness. The mind, like a storm, cannot be controlled by shouting over it. You wait for it to pass. You breathe. You listen. That is mastery, the art of responding, not reacting. Make this your practice. Sit in silence for 5 minutes before reacting, especially when angry or overwhelmed. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow the mind to settle. You will begin to notice something extraordinary. Silence doesn't take from you, It gives you back to yourself. It restores your energy, sharpens your perception, and anchors your emotions in understanding. Ask yourself gently, what is silence trying to teach me today? How often do I respond before understanding? What answers appear only when I slow down? These reflections reveal how silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of wisdom. In a world obsessed with volume, your calmness becomes a rebellion. The truly powerful are not those who shout the loudest, but those who can remain silent and steady when chaos calls. This is the discipline of the awakened heart: to wait, to listen, to let clarity ripen before action. Remember this: silence is not a retreat from life. It is a return to the center of it. Every day, 5 minutes of stillness rebuilds your peace from the inside out. When you choose silence, you are not doing nothing. You are doing the most important thing of all, hearing the truth that only stillness can speak. 4. Purify your intentions. Purify your life. Why do some people fail even with effort and talent? Why do some work endlessly, yet feel hollow at the end of each day? The Buddha taught that intention is the silent architect of our destiny. Right intention creates right action. You can work tirelessly, but if the root is poisoned by ego, no blossom can bring peace. 2 seeds may be planted in the same soil, under the same sun, watered by the same rain, yet one grows strong and the other withers. Why? Because one carries purity and the other carries poison. The same law governs our actions. When the motive is to prove, to compete, to be admired, our energy becomes restless, draining itself in comparison. But when the motive is to serve, to learn, to grow, peace follows naturally, like fragrance follows a flower. In Buddhist practice, this is called purification of intention, the quiet art of aligning your actions with truth rather than vanity. The modern world glorifies achievement but forgets alignment. You can reach the top of a mountain, but if you climbed it to be seen, the view will still feel empty. The real climb is inward. Each day, pause before you act. Before a decision, a message, or a task, ask yourself gently, is this ego or purpose? Then choose purity. This small pause rewires your life. It transforms chaos into clarity, busyness into meaning. When you choose from intention rather than impulse, you no longer waste energy fighting invisible battles with yourself. Try this practice for a week. Before beginning any task, big or small, place a hand on your heart and whisper your reason. If it's peace, proceed. If it's pride, breathe and release it. You'll notice your actions gaining a quiet power. Results will arise naturally, without inner conflict. Reflect for a moment. Do I act to impress or to grow? Is my effort aligned with peace? What happens when I choose clarity over ego? These questions unveil the truth that improvement is not just doing more, but doing what's right for the soul. When intention is pure, effort becomes meditation. Each movement, each word carries light. You begin to see that self-improvement is not about becoming more, but becoming true. Purify your intentions, and your life purifies itself. The outer world bends to the inner motive, just as the seed bends toward the sun. In the end, it's not how much you do, but why you do it, that determines whether you find peace or lose it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My discipline builds destiny." 5. Turn pain into wisdom. Why do some people break from pain, while others rise from it? The difference lies not in the weight of the pain, but in the way they hold it. The Buddha taught, suffering is a teacher disguised as life. Every wound, every heartbreak, every disappointment arrives not to destroy you, but to reveal something deeper within you. Yet most of us resist it. trying to escape before the lesson has been learned. Fire can destroy, or it can forge steel. The same flame that melts wax strengthens iron. Pain too can either consume or purify, depending on how you meet it. When you resist pain, it multiplies. But when you face it with awareness, it becomes transformation itself. Every time you choose to stay still in suffering, rather than run from it, you turn raw hurt into understanding. In Buddhist philosophy, suffering is not punishment, it is awakening. It shows you where you are attached, where the ego clings, where illusion hides. The question is never, why is this happening to me? But what is this moment trying to awaken in me? Each sorrow points toward a greater truth about your nature, impermanence, compassion, humility. Try this simple practice. When hurt, take a pen and write down, what is this pain teaching me about myself? Do not rush to fix it, just observe. Let the lesson surface naturally. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you strength. Maybe it's guiding you to let go. Over time, you'll see that the pain you once feared was quietly shaping you into someone deeper, softer, wiser. Ask yourself gently, what pain made me wiser? Am I carrying wounds or lessons? What is this moment trying to awaken in me? These reflections turn pain into purpose. You stop asking for an easy path and start asking for the strength to walk it with grace. Every scar then becomes sacred, a reminder of the fire that forged your character. When you shift from resistance to reflection, pain loses its sting and becomes a mirror showing who you truly are. So when life burns, do not curse the fire. Stand in it with awareness. Let it strip away what is false and reveal what endures. For those who listen, suffering becomes the most honest teacher of all. It refines your heart until compassion flows naturally. In time, you realize pain was never your enemy. It was your guide home to wisdom and peace. 6. Detach from comparison. Return to your path. Why does comparison destroy growth so silently? Because it creeps into the heart disguised as motivation. You see someone ahead and whisper, I should be there. Yet beneath that whisper lies poison, the belief that your worth depends on where others stand. The Buddha reminded us, peace comes when we stop measuring our value against another's shadow. No tree compares its height, it simply grows. Look at the forest. Every tree stands in its place, some tall, some small, each receiving sunlight in its own way. None rush, none envy, none apologize for their pace. But humans, unlike trees, often forget their own rhythm. We look sideways instead of inward. We chase someone else's timing and lose sight of the path meant for us. A flower never rushes to bloom, it trusts its season. The rose does not envy the lotus, nor the lotus the jasmine. Each opens when the moment is ripe, when nature calls it forth. You too have a season, a rhythm known only to your soul. When you compare, you uproot your own growth by doubting divine timing. Spend 24 hours without comparison. Don't check who's doing better, who's moving faster, who's receiving applause. Focus only on your next step. This single act will return your power to the present moment where your true progress lives. You'll begin to notice something subtle. Peace starts to grow where envy once lived. Ask yourself gently, who am I without comparison? What is my path here to teach me? What if my time is not late but perfect? These reflections dissolve the illusion that life is a race. They remind you that the universe doesn't reward speed, it rewards sincerity. Your journey unfolds at the exact pace your soul can handle. Modern life thrives on competition, but the awakened one learns cooperation with time, with effort, with destiny. When you release comparison, you stop striving to outshine others and start learning to outshine your past self. The mind grows lighter, the heart steadier, and joy returns without effort. Detachment from comparison is not withdrawal, it is wisdom. It's choosing to nurture your roots rather than count another's branches. When you honor your own rhythm, you discover that peace was never lost. It was only buried under comparison. Remember this truth: the sun never compares its shine, yet it lights the world. Be that light, grow quietly, trust your season. For your path, walked in patience and awareness, will always lead you exactly where you are meant to be. 7. Protect your energy like a sacred temple. Why do most people feel mentally tired even when they do nothing? Because their energy is constantly leaking into places it doesn't belong. The Buddha said, "Not everything needs a reaction, yet we pour our strength into arguments, gossip, scrolling, and worries that do not serve our growth." Energy is sacred. It shapes your thoughts, your emotions, and the very quality of your life. When it's scattered, your peace dissolves quietly, like water slipping through open hands. A temple stays holy, not by who enters, but by what is kept out. Think of your mind as that temple. Every time you engage in unnecessary drama, compare yourself to others, or dwell on negativity, you invite noise into your sacred space. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's spiritual hygiene. It is the recognition that peace requires boundaries. Most people wait until they're exhausted to realize they've given their power away, but you can choose differently. Today, reduce one energy leak. It may be gossip, overthinking, mindless scrolling, or explaining yourself to those unwilling to understand. Notice how much lighter you feel when you stop feeding the unnecessary. When you stop fighting every battle, you finally have the strength to walk your true path. Energy protection in Buddhism is an act of mindfulness. It's seeing clearly where your attention goes and choosing to bring it home. Before you speak, ask, will this bring peace or drain it? Before you react, breathe and return to awareness. The less you scatter, the more you see. The quieter your mind, the stronger your presence. Ask yourself gently, what drains me daily? What happens if I guard my peace? Who or what truly deserves my energy today? These questions are mirrors reflecting where your life may be leaking away. You'll discover that most things demanding your attention don't deserve your spirit. And when you stop trying to control the external, the internal begins to glow again. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolation, it means intention. You still love, serve, and connect, but you do so consciously without losing yourself in the noise. You learn to walk through chaos untouched because your center remains calm. Remember, your energy is your life force. Treat it as sacred. Be like the temple, still, centered, holy. Not because nothing enters, but because only the right things stay. The moment you begin to protect your peace, you realize the world outside cannot tire you anymore. Only what you allow within truly can. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My discipline builds destiny." 8. Live with purpose, not pressure. Why do those who chase achievement often feel empty even after winning? Because the pursuit was built on pressure, not purpose. The Buddha taught that intention shapes destiny, not ambition. Many rise to the top of mountains they never wanted to climb, only to find the view hollow. True fulfillment begins not when you achieve more, but when you align with meaning. Your purpose is not found, it is lived. A candle does not search for light, it burns and becomes it. In the same way, purpose is not hidden somewhere waiting for you to find it. It's revealed each time you live with awareness, compassion, and service. Yet in modern life, people chase purpose like a prize, confusing it with status or applause. But purpose is quieter. It's the invisible force that makes each action sacred, even the smallest ones. Living with purpose is not about grand missions, it's about sincerity in the ordinary. When you pour kindness into your work, patience into your relationships, and presence into your moments, you are already living your purpose. You stop performing for the world and start aligning with the truth within. Make this your daily practice. Do one meaningful act that lifts someone, however small. Help a colleague, listen deeply, speak gently, or share what you have. Kindness is a spiritual workout. It strengthens the muscle of purpose until it becomes natural. You'll notice how peace quietly replaces pressure. The burden to prove dissolves, and you begin to live from the heart rather than the ego. Ask yourself, what gives my life meaning? Who becomes better because I exist? What mission am I avoiding out of fear or doubt? These questions awaken the dormant flame of purpose within. When you act on the answers, life feels lighter, not because challenges disappear, but because now you know why you're walking. Purpose transforms effort into devotion. It turns exhaustion into gratitude and struggle into offering. When you live with purpose, you no longer need constant validation. You become like that candle, steady, radiant, giving light without demanding recognition. Remember this truth. Pressure is the noise of the mind. Purpose is the whisper of the soul. When you quiet the noise, the whisper becomes clear. You don't need to chase your reason for being. You need only to live it, one mindful act at a time. For the light you seek has always been inside you, waiting patiently for you to burn with intention and become it. 9. Win tomorrow by mastering today. Why do so many dream of greatness, yet remain stuck where they are? It's because they live in the illusion of someday. They plan for a distant future while neglecting the sacred power of today. The Buddha reminded us, the future begins in the next breath. Every great transformation starts here, in this moment, in this choice. Yet the mind wanders ahead, wishing for a tomorrow it never prepares for. Mountains are climbed one steady step at a time, not in a leap. The climber doesn't conquer by dreaming of the summit, but by focusing on the ground beneath each foot. In the same way, the person who improves daily, even by 1%, quietly outgrows those waiting for the perfect time. The secret is simple but profound. Win tomorrow by mastering today. Each night, set aside a moment of clarity. Write down 3 non-negotiable habits for the next day, small sacred promises to yourself. They could be meditating for 5 minutes, reading a single page of wisdom, exercising, or speaking kindly to someone. Then complete them with full discipline, no matter how you feel. Discipline, when practiced mindfully, becomes devotion, a ritual that turns ordinary days into paths of awakening. Modern life teaches us to chase massive results, but Buddhism teaches us to master small consistencies. The smallest conscious action, repeated daily, reshapes your destiny more powerfully than bursts of motivation ever could. Each mindful effort plants a seed. Each seed, with care, becomes strength. Ask yourself quietly, what step am I avoiding today? How can I make tomorrow stronger than today? What will my life become if I grow daily, even 1%? These questions strip away the illusion of procrastination. They remind you that the future is not waiting somewhere ahead. It's being born in every decision you make now. When you commit to mastering the day before you, time itself becomes your ally. Progress stops feeling like pressure and begins to feel like prayer. You begin to see that greatness is not an explosion. It's an accumulation of quiet victories over the lazy, fearful mind. Remember this, the future is not a destination. It's a continuation of your present actions. Breathe deeply, act fully, and honor this day as your training ground. For when you master today, tomorrow arrives already won. Every sunrise then becomes not another chance, but the natural reward of your mindful consistency. Why do we feel overwhelmed even when life becomes more comfortable? Because the world keeps teaching us to add more goals, more possessions, more distractions, while peace quietly lives in less. The Buddha's wisdom echoes softly through time. The more you own, the more you are owned. Each thing you cling to, each expectation you feed, takes a small piece of your calm away. A bird flies freely, not because of wings alone, but because it carries nothing heavy. In the same way, the human spirit is designed to soar, yet it struggles under the weight of endless wants and comparisons. We confuse fullness with happiness and forget that peace grows best in empty, open space. True improvement is not about adding layers to your life, but peeling them away until only truth remains. In Buddhism, clutter is not just physical, it is mental and emotional. The mind becomes heavy when filled with unnecessary desires, shallow attachments, and stories that no longer serve you. Every should, every unhealed memory, every craving pulls your awareness away from the present. Simplicity is not about owning less, it's about needing less. It is the quiet art of knowing what truly matters and gently releasing what doesn't. Today, practice simplicity as a sacred ritual. Remove one unnecessary thing from your life, a distraction, a toxic habit, or a meaningless possession, and feel your soul become lighter. Notice how silence expands where noise once lived. That emptiness is not loss, it's freedom. Each act of letting go invites clarity to sit beside you. Ask yourself with honesty, what am I holding that I no longer need, physically or emotionally? Is my life designed for peace or for noise? What would simplicity give me that complexity never will? These reflections are doors to liberation. Behind them waits the calm you've been searching for, not in new achievements, but in quiet surrender. Simplicity restores your energy, sharpens your awareness, and returns your heart to stillness. It reminds you that happiness is not something to achieve, it's something to allow. When the mind stops chasing, peace begins to grow. Remember, a river flows freely because it doesn't try to carry the stones along its path. So too you must travel light. Let go, not to lose, but to truly live. In the end, simplicity isn't a sacrifice. It's a return to what was always enough. When you choose simplicity, peace chooses you. We'd love to hear your reflections. If you're unsure what to write, simply say, "My discipline builds destiny." Quick summary of the principles. Master your inner world before trying to master the outer one. True improvement starts with mental clarity. Most people try to change their lives without first changing their thoughts. By training your mind daily and watching your thoughts, you gain control over actions, emotions, and habits. Inner mastery leads to outer success. Discipline through detachment. Discipline isn't about motivation, it's about staying committed to what truly matters. When you detach from moods and excuses, you act from purpose, not emotion. Consistency grows when you remove resistance and simply do what's needed. Detachment builds unstoppable progress. Silence is a daily power ritual. Stillness sharpens your awareness and clears your mind. A quiet mind makes wiser choices and reacts less from emotion. Moments of silence each day reduce stress and restore focus. A calm mind creates a calm life. Purify your intentions to purify your life. Your actions may seem right, but if your intentions come from ego, they bring confusion. When your motives are sincere, kind, and pure, life aligns naturally. Honest intention creates trust, success, and meaningful connection. Purity of mind leads to lasting peace. Turn pain into wisdom. Pain is part of life, but suffering is a choice. When you reflect instead of react, pain becomes strength. Every struggle holds a lesson, and emotional wounds invite growth. Accept pain, transform it, and rise wiser. Detach from comparison. Comparing yourself steals joy and weakens confidence. Your path is your own. Progress happens when you focus on your own growth. When you stop competing with others, transformation speeds up. Your only rival is who you were yesterday. Protect your energy. Your time and energy are sacred. Guard them well. Not everything deserves a reaction, and not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Weak boundaries drain peace and power. Protecting your energy brings emotional freedom. Live with purpose, not pressure. A meaningful life isn't built by chasing success. It's shaped by living with purpose. When your actions serve something greater than yourself, life gains direction. Purpose fuels motivation and dissolves fear. Find what lights your soul and dedicate your life to it. Win tomorrow by mastering today. Progress is built through small daily steps, not sudden leaps. Consistency is stronger than intensity. Improve just 1% each day, and your life will transform. Each disciplined day shapes your future self. Choose simplicity, gain peace. Simplicity clears stress by removing distractions and needless wants. When you live with clarity and purpose, life feels lighter and more meaningful. Having less and needing less brings emotional freedom. Simplicity leads to lasting peace. Growth doesn't happen in noise, it happens in awareness. The Buddhist path of self-improvement isn't about being better than others. It's about becoming wiser, calmer, and more mindful than you were yesterday. Real transformation starts with silent decisions, gentle discipline, pure intentions, and a heart that faces challenges with wisdom instead of fear. When you turn inward, you reclaim your life from confusion and distraction. True inner peace isn't found, it's created through daily practice. These 9 Buddhist principles are not escapes but awakenings. They remind us that peace is a habit, clarity a choice, and growth a duty. As Zen wisdom says, the way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. Begin with one small step today. Keep your mind clear, your spirit strong, and your purpose alive, because life becomes what you practice every day. If this message touched something within you, like and share this video so others can find their path to peace. Share your reflection below, and for more insights on living with spiritual strength and calm clarity,